Okay, a lot of people have a lot of questions about the new, it's not really new, but it's something that we are really encouraging our clients to do, and that is the ID.me login in order to verify your identity and be able to access your taxpayer transcripts at the IRS. The IRS has had this program around for a while, and in reality, it actually works with a lot of different government agencies, but it's getting a lot of increased interest right now. And the reason that we're talking about it is, if you haven't heard, the IRS is really in a bit of a transition, and they have lost a lot of staff. And even before that, it is really, really hard to get any information about what's happening with your tax situation behind the scenes. And so the ID.me has come a long way in allowing taxpayers to access their transcript requests and their statements of accounts, or to make payments. The other reason why this is really important is that President Trump signed an executive order that's set to take effect at the end of September 30th, 2025. And what that's going to do is force everybody who makes payments to the IRS to use electronic methods. And the easiest way to do that is to set up an ID.me. Now, we're actually pretty excited about that. Why? Well, because if you were still sending checks to the IRS, the problem is, as many of you have discovered, is that the IRS does lose some checks, like very frequently, unfortunately. So if they lose your check, or they just can't find it, or they post it to the wrong year, it's a whole nightmare to get this thing rectified. So electronic means of banking transmission have been very, very secure for many, many years. And really, the IRS is just kind of catching up by saying, hey, we're not going to receive paper checks anymore, and we're not going to issue paper checks as refunds. I think this is a great thing because, again, we have been using electronic means, and if we do so through secure methods, this is really a better way to go. We have instant, knowledge that our money is in our bank account, or that it's left our bank account, and we have the ability to kind of do, these types of transactions. We can also pre-schedule. We can use the ID.me for that. So there's actually a lot of benefits to it. And again, most people are very, very comfortable with online banking and digital banking means. If you have not set up an ID.me account yet, I'm going to walk you through why and how you should do that. Okay. So I kind of talked about the why, and that's all these reasons, is that there's a lot of changes. We're going to have a downturn in IRS. You're not going to be able to do paper checks anymore. And so you're going to want to have this account set up. And then I guess the last thing is, if you work with a tax professional like me, I can help you if you have an ID.me account. And so if you do, I also do, and you can actually allow me as the tax professional almost instant access by sending me a link, and I can go in and say, I want to help my taxpayer client because, again, maybe I understand kind of how to maneuver around in the IRS a little bit better, because that's what I do. So these are going to be really positive changes for a lot of people, but I'm going to walk you through how to do this. So before you go any further and you get down into this rabbit hole, I want you to have a few things with you before you kind of start. First, you're going to need an email address. So this is pretty basic. Most of us have an email address. Pick your favorite one, use that. You're going to need your social security number. So if you don't know it, time to learn it. That should be one of those things you memorize. But if not, get your social security card. You're going to need a smartphone or a computer that has a webcam. Okay. And so because this is a secure method, you're going to have to do a visual identity check. And so you're going to need to do that. You're going to need a photo ID. Okay, so we're talking your driver's license or your passport or maybe a state ID, and you're going to need to have that physically with you. And then sometimes you might need proof of your address. Not all the time. A lot of these can be done without, but if you have recently moved or something maybe has changed, maybe grab that utility bill that is a proof of an address change or something like that and have that ready. So you're going to want to have all these things ready before you dive into the new IRS ID.me login. Okay. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to irs.gov. This is where you want to go. Okay. We do not want to go to some other kind of random scammy IRS websites that people are impersonating, or anything that you have to pay for, the link to the actual IRS website is here, and this is where you go, irs.gov. From there, you are going to go and to create a new individual account. Okay, and when you go to individual account, it's going to prompt you and click all of these different things. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to enter our email, and we're going to create a password, and then we're going to have to agree to some terms of service, and then we're going to create an account. Once that happens, we're going to get an email, and we're going to have to click on it, and we're going to have to verify the email, and then we're going to add two-factor authentication. Okay, and when we have two-factor authentication, that usually means we're going to have them, most of us are aware, sending a text to our cell phone. And so we're going to connect our cell phone to our ID.me so that every time we log in, we can't just kind of log in without that second two-factor authentication. Okay, then once we kind of get the account set up, we then are going to come in and verify identity. This is pretty easy. You're going to follow through the prompts that they give you, and you're going to do, most of this can happen with the self-service validation. You're going to do that, and you're going to verify that the photo ID that you sent and your picture, your webcam, maybe you can have to do it through the web chat, but hopefully not. Then you're going to be verified in the ID.me. And then if that doesn't work, you can do a short live video call. And this is where same thing. We can click a chat. We'll get an agent on. Your computer might have the webcam, and you'll kind of verify your face with the agent. And then sometimes you might need an extra documentation, or you have to send it, and there's some, tips on that. So again, you're going to need to do some type of two-level authentication in order to get through the ID.me. So it's not just as easy as kind of creating a username and password. There's going to be a two-factor authentication for that. And again, this is for your security, so that somebody random who's not you can't just log into your IRS account and pull up your transcripts and your earnings records and all of those kind of things, and how much you've paid in taxes, take your refunds, whatever. So these are really secure methods, and this is, again, a really good thing, but it does take a little bit of time. I would say give yourself about 15 to 30 minutes to do this whole process. And if everything works as it should, then you should be good to go. Okay. Once you're all done with that and your ID.me account has been confirmed, then it's going to allow you to now log into the IRS website through your ID.me, and you're going to be able to sign in, and you're set up. And inside there, you can see your tax payments, you can see your earnings histories, your record transcripts, which would be like if you had earnings and somewhere you didn't get a W-2, you're going to be able to see that, what somebody had reported, the numbers. So this can be really, really helpful too if people have questions about what's going on in their account. We've been using it more and more. These online back-end programs that they've been working on with modernization are very, very helpful for a lot of people. So I think this is going to make your life a lot easier. It's a little bit of a pain in the butt now to set it up, but once you do, you're going to be very happy, and we're going to be able to make sure that you have access to your personal taxpayer account. I think you will find it to be helpful to you and useful as you proceed with being a taxpayer here in the good old US of A. I hope that helps. Have a great day.